Small eyes, big eyes, small eyes. Look around the room with small eyes, big ears. Everybody, yes. Put your hands up. Nice. Jana Patil, Vanga Vanga. Okay, big ears, and then
When I say that it's symbolic, that doesn't mean it's not real.
And also another sort of coincidence is that my flat in London is about 200 yards from people's pubs.
We did discuss to write it, but I think that's a deep thought to think about. We spoke about privilege, we spoke about...
We had, you need to have some skills to have... We all know from existing research that music is one thing that has been found to be extremely helpful in calming down the anxiety symptoms. There has been scientific evidence that the music actually acts on the amygdala and the hypothalamus of the brain, and it reduces the firing in the brain, and thereby it reduces the anxiety. So I think these are all enough evidence that art definitely plays a role in one's mental well-being.
every community has some form of art. Every different caste, different tribe, different religion, every community has art. But most of us don't see those arts. We only see those arts that are deemed a high status to be funded and viewed. So my work is not to take art to underprivileged communities. My work a lot of the time is to take their art and help those artists get recognition, or use all the different forms of art that we have in different spaces where we can use it for social justice, we can use it for gender equality, we can use it to fight caste, and we can use it for building a bridge between religions. That is what I do.
The challenges, as I see in terms of art being used for mental wellness and wellness, is the simple fact that we are not aware of it. There has not been enough work in India which connects arts to wellness, right? And therefore a lot of people are asking, say, why art? I mean, what will art do which something else can't? And that is where what we are working on are becoming small case studies, small pilots, which can be shown as actually creating that impact that we are talking about.
And I think almost everybody would have experienced that during the pandemic lockdown, when a lot of people started learning new things, whether it was painting or drawing or embroidery or anything, making new things with waste, creating new objects from waste. It was any kind of art, definitely had a soothing effect. And
like lots of times I take kids from urban spaces into marginalized communities or rural communities in order for urban kids to realize, oh my God, there is so much beauty there. We are just in a little bubble in our little AC rooms and watching only what is available to us on mass media or through our networks. But there is so much out there. So I encourage everybody to open their eyes, get out and honor and respect every form of art, and not just a few according to status, access to English, access to Sanskrit, access to higher theatres. There is art on the streets, there is art everywhere.
There's also a lot of conversation around how can it be measured, and we are trying to figure out how new ways of measurement can come. That when you do a play, how do you measure the result of that? When you do a theatre-based activity or a game, how can you measure that? So results, process, everything are going to have a dramatic change. Challenge is convincing people to try it, because we know for a fact that when you try it, it is creating the result. And once it's creating the result, then the challenge is to measure it and put it in a report and show it to other people.
the most important thing we should remember is art is not about getting appreciated and applauded by people outside. It is more for personal satisfaction and our own sense of well-being. I think if the focus is, if all that appreciation is from within us, we are not worried about whether the art is being recognized elsewhere or it is being applauded by others. That is very important for art to be helpful in someone's life. If the focus becomes more of external validation, then the same art can lead to distress. And another important thing is we have found that people do not not lose their creativity just because they develop a mental health problem. And people, and there is a lot of evidence to say that people with bipolar disorder can be very creative. A lot of the best works of Van Gogh have been in his periods of depression. So mental health and creativity has always had a connect for a very long time, but it is now time for us to explore how we can exploit on this excellent connectivity and use it in the appropriate way by introducing art as the method to learn things, to unlearn what we have to unlearn, and use it for the betterment of one's life rather than looking at it as a goal. It is more a path rather than a goal.
Situation of perhaps a patient with a doctor or a daughter with a mother, how do we take lots of those stories and make them a collective story? We're not therapists.